man.
Good afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. I'm your host, Mitchell Gunter, right along with Robert Simpson. I'll tell you what, we got a great show on tonight. Robert, we have Rocky Platt joining us. What a great history the Platts have been in the drag racing. It's unreal, and some of the pictures that Rocky sent us takes you back to that time when drag racing was just starting to get really big and real exciting and started drawing the fans into the sport.
Absolutely. We're really looking forward to talking to Rocky. The Platt family is known in the Southeast in match racing circles and stuff, and at the beginning of funny cars and AFXs. And so they got a rich history. And they're continuing that history with he and his cousins running in the Southeast Gassers in the AFX category, but also being involved with being a race director and helping run the organization. So we really looking forward to talk to him.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to have Rocky on right after these commercials. So stick around, and here we go.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
With more than 30 years of engine and drivetrain experience, Big Stuff is your one-stop total power management solution. Whether you're controlling a 600 horsepower street car and want the best drivability, or have a 6,000 horsepower race car, need the most bulletproof, reliable control hardware, Big Stuff can do it all. All of our components are designed and manufactured right here in the USA, including our computers, wiring harnesses, touchscreen displays, and more. Nothing is built offshore, and we take pride in being one of the only automotive aftermarket manufacturers that can say this. Learn more at bigstuff3efi.com or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Rocky, I want to thank you for joining the show tonight. And I tell you what I'm hearing outside right now is just music to my ears. We're finally getting some rain here in North Florida, something that we haven't had in quite some time. But I tell you what, we're glad to have you on, to talk about the Southeast Gassers Association, talk about your role there, and especially talk about the history of your family in drag racing, which is totally amazing.
Well, hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate being on here. Here in Atlanta, we've had 17 or 18 days of rain this month, so we're getting all your rain that you wish to have. We're getting plenty of it.
No, we're good.
We're ready to get rid of it. It's been 8 weeks now since we've been able to race because of rain, so it's been kind of tough on the Southeast Gassers, and that's the ones that love to race. I had somebody call me a couple of days ago, and he was just complaining about, not being able to race, and I'm like, man, God don't have a 1-800 number, I don't think, but if he does, I'll give it to you.
That's so true. That's so true. It's like, somebody sent me a picture today. It's like, it shows the whole week weather schedule. And of course, Monday through Thursday or whatever like that, sunshine and stuff like that. But as soon as Friday through Sunday and racing season comes along, it's raining. And I'm like going, yeah, that's pretty typical. I mean, I know we're planning on racing this Saturday, and yeah, same thing. There's a there's a chance of rain. So it is what it is, right?
I have a bad habit of starting to looking at forecast of where we'll be racing at 14 days ahead of time, and it can be good, it can be bad. It changes every 24 hours, and it's tough sometimes on us. We have people travel a long ways to come racing with us, and we have to give them plenty of notice to, we have to call it off. And got out 2 races in Alabama back to back. They got called off here recently, and it's tough times when it's raining.
Right. Something you can't control. But go ahead, Mitchell.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, the communication there with the Southeast Gas Association is just great. Y'all try to get those notices out right away to try to save people that trip of driving all the way there and have to turn around and go back home. So my hat goes off to the association for doing that and trying to save the racers money from traveling distances. I know y'all have one driver, I think, that comes all the way from Pennsylvania or something like that races with y'all. I might be wrong, but I know it's a little further off than where most of y'all actually kind of live in that central area.
Yeah, we've got several racers that come up from Wisconsin. Greg Sells, the Joker. We got the Castos come from, I think, West Virginia, I believe it is. I can't remember. And we got people from Louisiana. Larry Cummings, Louisiana, and Texas. We just got people coming from all over. It's not just the racers. We got fans that plan trips, to come see us, book hotel rooms. And so when I started with Quayne 10 years ago, Quayne Stott, the original owner of Southeast Gases, we used to wait till like Thursday evening before we made a call. But now we've gotten to where we can't do that anymore. It's just people spending too much money and too much time to come to a race and it's tough calls. Myself, Leslie Horn, the owner, and Wayne Swafford, the owner, it's some tough times us trying to make that call to call a race because it's hard. But you have to do it to save people time and money, especially in today's time.
Exactly. Y'all do a great job with that. Really
And
great job.
And the fact that you're involved, like you said, you're the race director, and I think you wear another hat at the Southeast Gassers, do you not, as far as in the association?
Yeah, I'm director of operations also. Our race director had to step down right before the first race because of some family issues, and he was involved in the storms they had in western North Carolina, and he just didn't feel like he could take the time to put his heart into it, so he had to step down. So, but I've been kind of doing that for the last several years anyway. It's just I'm just used to it, and it's just once I started doing this, you don't do it for the money. You do it because, man, it's so many good people with Southeast Gassers. It's just incredible. The families, we've had a few marriages come from Southeast Gassers. They've never met each other. And you got fathers and sons out there racing with each other and traveling together. I'd give anything for my dad to still be here, for him, going with me to go racing because it'll bring a tear to your eyes when you're out there, with your family, with your son, or with your daughter. It's just cool.
Agreed. And when I went to the first race at Southeast Georgia, or South Georgia Motorsports Park, and I was telling Mitchell this, just coming in, I got there early on Friday before y'all started racing Friday afternoon. And I'll tell you, and it had that feel, it had that family feel, just like you said. I just went up and started talking to people like yourself, and everybody was super nice and friendly, and come on in and let me talk to you, and let me show you my car, and let me tell you about the association and the racing, and I really liked that. So and it reflected in the afternoon. I started seeing more and more people coming in, and just to come watch, way ahead of schedule. So it's a sign of what y'all do.
It's special. I'll tell you a short story. Back in Indiana, I think it was 2017, I believe it was. Stephen Smith, our social media guy, and he has all our apparel and stuff. We're good friends. His daughter was coming to the races, one of his daughters, and she was so shy. And I made her get in my race car and actually start it up. And from that day forward, her whole life changed. And it's just stories like that, though, that is really cool because Kaylee, all of a sudden, she came out of that shell. She was just a different girl. And she ended up marrying one of the racers that Adam Lohorn. Now she's Kaylee Lohorn. But it's just started back in Indiana, her getting in my race car and starting it up. And and just kind of change things. And there's several people we can talk about like that. It changed their lives. And to be honest with you, we have run off several people that didn't want to be like the family, part of the family, and they've just come and gone. And that's what makes it. That's what makes us all travel so much and spend so much money. Is because of the family atmosphere of Southeast Gassers.
Yeah, you speaking of that, the family atmosphere and stuff. If you go on the Southeast Gaster Association's page, you don't see no negativity stuff on the page whatsoever. Everything's uplifting, and trying to use the opportunity to draw more fans in to watch it. And when you go to one of your events, I haven't been, but I have watched some of them. I've actually, talked to Lee Kraft that's done a lot of stuff with y'all as well on videos, and it's just one of the most exciting things of what y'all doing is conserving history of that era of drag racing. These younger kids, they love drag racing, but they don't understand where drag racing actually originated and how it got started. And it is because of pioneers of those days is the reason why it's here, and trying to create that family atmosphere that I believe is what has made drag racing last decades over decades and still going strong today. And y'all providing that I call it education to these young kids. It causes them to follow the sport, and like you said, like that young girl, she ended up marrying a racer, and and hopefully the tradition goes on with their family and with others. The thing is, if you get somebody out there to drag strip and they fall in love with it, man, they're hooked for life.
Yeah.
And they better get their wallet ready because they're going to be spending a lot of money.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And we have from 16, 17-year-olds to 80-year-old people with us, and that's what's so neat about it. But we're trying to what Quayne Stott started when he started this. I guess now 12 years ago. I've been there 10 years. He said it would never. People said never work. Strict rules. But what we've done, and not to pat ourselves on the back, but what we've done, all us racers, and Quayne, Leslie Horn, the new owner, and Stephen, and everybody involved with us, we've brought drag racing to something people love to come see again. With our strict rules, and you lose, you go home. That's how it was when Dad raced, and that's how we ate. And so that's what's so cool about Southeast Gas. Now we get bashed a lot from outside people about our rules and why you do this. It's not period correct. It's not this. It's not that. But you know what? We love what we do. We all help each other. Greg Stells needed an engine at Shadyside. Leslie gave him an engine, and Greg put Leslie out. I mean, that's kind of how it works. You might have somebody up under your car helping you get something done between rounds, and they go race you the next round, and you go beat them. I mean, that's part of it, and that's what. There's no money to be made in this what we do. It's just not.
Right.
Greg said that. He said that exactly what you said. It was bittersweet. He obviously wanted to beat Leslie because Leslie had been on a roll for so many rounds and so many races. But to actually do it with his motor, he's like going, "Oh man!" He's like going, "It is what it is, right?" You wouldn't expect nothing else.
No, and that's what's so great about what we do. And you don't see that anywhere else. You just don't. You don't see that in other racing, round track, drag racing, whatever. You don't see that anymore. And as long as Southeast Gassers is around, we'll keep being that type of family atmosphere and wanting to help each other. That's not going to change.
Right. Now, now you have a long history in racing. I know your family does too. But tell us, when did you actually get started racing?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I never got in a race car until 2015.
Really?
Kelvin Cannon, a man that my cousin and my uncle met at Beach Bend Bowling Green, and he wanted to do a remake of Dad's the car I drive now, the '65, fastback. And Alan gave him my number and everything, and people would always call me wanting to do stuff, and I just always kind of blow them off because when my dad had a bad wreck, and we get in that, later, he got out of racing. He sold everything, got out, and we lost all interest. In fact, we followed NASCAR all the time for years and years and years. But I got in the car, and Kelvin called me and says, "Rocky, I want you to do this." He said, "I'm building this car. I built it, and I want you to drive it. I want you behind the wheel of it." Him and a man named Sonny Hall. Sonny's passed away now, but they were a big part of doing this. And it was in Darlington, South Carolina. About 100 degrees that day.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting around all day with Kelvin and Sonny. They had their race cars there, and Kelvin had the fastback there. And all of a sudden, Quayne Stott came over and said, "Hey, I want Rocky in the race car and start line in 10 minutes." That's when I got in the race car. And I red lighted. I was running, but I went down the track. So the next race was in Greer, South Carolina. It's a big race. And Brett Kepner, announcer for many different
yeah.
first pass I made, he's like, "Man," he said, "I don't know, your daddy wouldn't be very happy with that." And the next pass I made in that car, I just let it go. And I came back, and he gave me a big bear hug and says, "That's how you run that race car. That's how you drive that race car." And to be honest, from that point forward, Kelvin and I just became best friends, and we traveled together, we raced together. And, I thank God all the time that Kelvin was so much a part of me getting to keep my daddy's name alive.
Right.
And he also built Alan's car, the Falcon. Kelvin built
really?
that car too, yes. And so that the point was when he built them, it's supposed to match race.
Right.
And, so it ended up, when Sonny passed away, Alan got to buy that car. And that's kind of how it was meant to be. But that's the first time I'd ever got in the car. And then my wife asked me at the time, she says, "If it scares you, you're not going to do it, right?" I said, "You're right." And she said, "Did it scare you?" I said, "No. Kind of wish you would have. Sometimes I'd have a lot more money in my pocket." I tell you that.
we all say that, we're all like going, no, I'm going to limit it to this. No, I'm going to limit it to that. And you see that in the mirror, more often than not. But so you started out driving a new rendition of your father's 65 Nova, correct?
That's the first time I've been in a race car. Now, I went everywhere with my dad when I was little. I traveled all over the country with my dad when I was little, but I never got in the race car until then. And
well, tell us.
I got to tell you, I came back, Robert, and when I came down the return road in Greer, and all the fans, I don't know if you've been to Greer Dragway or not, but all the fans are there, and they're all standing up and clapping.
Right.
Man, I was crying like a little baby. It wasn't about me. It was about my dad.
Right.
I was bringing back my dad's name. I was doing something that he'd be proud of.
Right.
Cool.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That family connection means more than anything.
It does.
And so I completely agree. But you got to tell us about the AFX class in the Southeast Gassers, because I know that's what you and your cousin run in. But tell us what makes them different.
Well, it started out that the Southeast Gassers, Quayne agreed for us to do that, and we just match race and have fun with it. He did not want anything faster than gas cars, and that's one of the reasons we're on a small tire, the 9-inch tire. That kind of makes sure it would slow down, and that just stuck. But we've been trying to build a class, AFX class, for a long time because it is different. You got the altered wheelbase. We run on methanol, not gas, and it's just, but with AFX, it's a very small window. So trying to get people to come build AFX cars would be a good class with, have at least 8 to 10 cars. It's just hard because it's such a small window, because people like Dad, my Uncle Hubert, Don Nicholson, Phil Bonner, Cheryl Greer, I can go on and on, Bobby Woods, Arnie Beswick. I mean, people I was around growing up, they changed those cars weekly, monthly. I mean, they changed whatever it did for them to win.
Right.
So that's the AFX is a tough spot to really develop a class. But I got to tell you, the fans love the AFXs. That's the original funny car. AFX is what was called a funny car to start with before they started with the flip tops. And that's what makes it different. And it's not so much, the A-gas cars are faster than us. But it's just, in some of these cars, like my car, Dad made a reputation. He can become a household name because the car was all over the drag strip. But he still won.
Right.
And that's kind of how the car is right now that I drive. And, Rob Walden's driving it for me this year. It's out of control. But you drive it. And I remember one time in Indiana, I went from the center line to the wall to the center line, and I beat Todd Wimberly. And there's no way I should have won. I mean, I was just all over the track, and I had a man come back, and he says, I saw Dixie Twister written on the side of your car. The way I was sitting, I should not have seen it. Stuff like that. And but AFX is just different now. We've got some good cars right now with Todd Wimberly. Sam Gable has Robbie Walden driving his, the Moonshot. We've got, of course, my cousin. And we got a couple of more cars coming that will be coming to run AFX. But we have me and Todd and Alan and Sammy with our cars. We have a good time. It's very competitive. And they're all pretty equal as far as anybody can win at any given day.
I find it interesting that you got yours being a Chevrolet, your cousin's being a Ford, and but you got, I like the names too: Dixie Twister, Southern Comfort, Georgia Shaker. You know what I mean? Moonshot. You know, and Moonshot being the only Chrysler in the group, if I remember correctly, right?
But it's got a Chevrolet engine in it.
Oh, it does. I thought it had a Hemi in it.
That kills the low bar people. Yeah, it's got a Chevrolet engine in it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Mopar guy. He's clutching his pearls, but you know what you're going to do, right?
Yeah, it's got an LWA engine and Lamar Walden Automotive engine in it.
Yeah, and I think Lamar's got his engines and everything in AFX.
Yeah, Rob has got, I guess so. He's got, Allen's. He don't have Allen's, my cousin. Blair Patrick built Allen's. But,
okay, Blair's a good Ford guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a guru. He's a Ford guru. That's for sure. The FB Motors. He's been around for a long time doing it. But yeah, Rob does have his hand in. LWA does have the hand in several engines in Southeast Gassers.
Oh my goodness, yes.
It's interesting, I didn't think about it. You said that, but yeah, 3 of the AFX cars have LWA engines in them.
Yeah, because every time I was turning around, I saw his logo, and I was like going, okay, that's a big block. And I turned around, wait a minute, that's a Ford. And I'm like, all right. I knew he was known for W motors and big blocks, but I was like going, every time I was turning around in that red 33 Anglia, I think it was, that runs, B gas or C gas. It's a Lamar setup.
Kelvin Cannon, my race.
That's it.
Yeah, he's got an LWA in it. Several of them have LWA engines in them, so. I need to start paying attention more when the AFX one's in there, so I can maybe tamper with them a little bit to get a little more horsepower in mine.
There you go.
These guys, But I think we have right now. I work for Rob. I think we have 8 or 10 engines in cars at Southeast Gassers right now.
Wow.
And that's it's good. It's it's fun to do it. It's fun when you have people come around and want engines built because Rob's daddy had a reputation all over the country for 409s.
Right.
He was the 409 guru, and until the day he passed away in 2015, he was the 409 man. And I've been working for Rob for a year now, getting out of the flooring business for 35 years. So I've been really enjoying it, helping him run his business, and talking to people all over the world. We've been dealing with people in Australia, for 409 stuff, and it's crazy. And Rob just he's just like his daddy. He's got the 409. He's very, very smart when it comes to all that. And he's very smart at building engines. So it makes it fun for me because of the age I'm at and where I'm at in life, and going to do something like that, getting out of the flooring business for all those years. I've been liking it. I've really been loving doing it, and I've learned a lot. I know how to get in the car and drive it, but I don't know. I knew just not to be dangerous when it comes to the engine and everything else. But I've learned a lot from him and the people that work for him, showing me and helping me learn more about my own race car. So that's been exciting.
Well, I tell you, you sent us quite a few photos, and I kind of want to go through those and let you explain, the history of those photos. But before we get into that, we'll take a short commercial break. So everyone, please stand by and wait, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition and a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
I tell you what, I really enjoy these photos that you sent to Robert for us to use tonight on the podcast. Just shows the deep, rich history of drag racing. So we want to kind of go through some of those and let tell our audience about them. And so I'll tell you what, we're going to start off with this one right here.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool picture. That's my Uncle Hubert and my dad. That's probably somewhere around 63, 64, somewhere around there. I mean, they both had the cigars in their mouth, but it's funny, they just chewed them. They didn't really smoke them, they just chewed them. But that's two tough old men right there. And back in the day, you look at those boys right there, they were tough racers, they were tough men. Yeah, that's a cool picture of the two of them.
Now, I think your daddy was a Chevrolet follower, and your uncle ran primarily Fords, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, here was all Ford, and Dad was all Chevrolet. From to the day they were got out of it, to the day they passed away, it was still Ford Chevrolet. It was brother versus brother, Platt, versus Platt. It was always. They drew a lot of attention, especially in the South. And Uncle Hubert went out west and became part of the Ford drag team. And it was gone a lot, but Dad still, and they started running different classes stuff when Dad went to the front of cars and everything else. But yeah, they were very well known as brothers and Ford and Chevy. They didn't always get along. They didn't get along a lot of times. I mean, they worked together. They raced same place and stuff. But later in years, I guess they figured out they respected each other more, and it really became close. Later in the years. But during the racing years, there were some tough times, but some good times too. Some really good times.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the funny cars. So I got a few pictures of those.
Yeah, that would have been somewhere in 1968. That was that was the car that really started Dad. He was beating so many people with that car from the East Coast to the West Coast, big time sponsors, big time people. He was winning with that car. So, and Brooke Chevrolet was a sponsor of his did, and yeah, that's me and my little brother, which my little brother passed away a couple of years ago now. But yeah, that's the three of us right there with Dad. That brings back a lot of memories.
And that's before he put the blower on it, I take it.
Yes.
Because I think he ran injected for a long time, I believe. Correct?
Yeah. To start with, yeah, and then he put the blower on it on this car, but later on in this car.
Gotcha. Man. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's that was. We probably have more pictures of that car than the fastback than we do of any of them. But that car was a very popular car. It was just now that's the car that we actually have now. A good friend of mine owns it, Chris Davis. That's the last car there that Dad ever got behind the wheel of. He finally got rid of it in around 1972, sold it, and decided that he was never drag racing again. He couldn't compete with the Hemis. And he just got tired of spending the money to compete because he was used to winning, and he really just couldn't compete. And he just figured it was time to get out. Plus, his heart wasn't in it the way it used to be after a bad wreck he had in March of 1969.
Right.
That was just tough times then. He just it was a brand new car, first pass, and he had Chevrolet backing him. He had Coca-Cola, signed a contract with Coca-Cola, and he finally got the big sponsors he wanted and needed, and then just because of some unsafe conditions and a fan just not being where he should be, it caused an accident, and it just several people injured and killed, and he really got to Dad. He had some. He had several years of tough times just getting past it. And he was it's funny, he was so tough, but he wasn't as tough as he thought he was because his heart was broken of what happened that day.
Yeah, that'd be tough on absolutely anybody, for sure. Now that car right there was the when you sold it, it was a 70 model, right? Or 70 and a half, something like that?
70 and a half, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That car was found in Nova Scotia, Canada. That's the car we have now. His old crew chief spent several years trying to find that car, and just said, he'd given up really. He finally got a phone call one day, and he, when the snow thawed out and everything up there, he drove all the way up there, and sure enough, it was Dad's car. He brought it back in pieces on an open trailer, and spent a lot of hours and a lot of time and a lot of money. And Randall Davis was his name. His brother Chris Davis was backing him, helping him do it. And Randall had a goal that he wanted to build his car back and Dad to approve it. So a crazy story is when Randall finally finished it, he wanted to bring it over for my dad to approve it. So we were living in Buford, Georgia at the time, and big long driveway, and he comes down the driveway with that car on the open trailer. And Dad saw it, and he did not put Dad's name on it yet because he didn't want to put Dad's name on it until he approved it.
Right.
And I didn't tell Dad he was coming, but he came. We all cried some. Dad kind of released a lot of the feelings he'd had. A man named Rick Mentor, he did a lot of NASCAR stuff. He was a reporter, a writer here for the AJC. I agreed for Rick to come do an interview with Dad. I used to never let Dad talk to anybody because I always want to talk about the wreck, but Rick came and talked to Dad. And Dad released all those years of I guess, anguish just because of what happened. And he approved the car. Randall put the name on the side of the car, and Randall was racing it, driving it, and I was going with him everywhere. And we raced it for 2 or 3 years till Randall had some health issues, and he ended up passing away.
Hmm.
But that car, and what was so strange about it, the day he brought it over for Dad to approve it was exactly the day that the wreck had happened. I guess it was 40 years ago at the time. But it was 69. I think it was 40 years. It might have been 50 years. I can't remember now. It was just when Randall was pulling out the driveway, all of a sudden my mom said, "You realize what this day is?" And we started thinking about it. It was the same day that Dad had the wreck in the 69 car. Not that car.
Right.
The 69 car.
Right.
And, so it was all, things happen for a reason. And
Right.
from that point forward, I really got excited about racing again. Because I was going with Randall with that funny car. I wasn't driving anything. Randall was driving. I was just working on it, doing everything I was supposed to do. But it really changed my dad's life for the years he did have left. Because he passed away in 2011. And that was late 2008, early 2009 when Dad approved it. So he, at least he got to see that car before he passed away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That had to be priceless, to say the least.
It was. And we went to the Southern Nationals first time in Commerce. Dad went to Southern Nationals. I agreed, talked him into going. The car was to be there. And it was an emotional day because, and a good friend of mine, he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. They announced Dad was there. My dad wasn't one. He and Hubert were night and day. Hubert loved to, everybody, he wanted to shake everybody's hand. He wanted to kiss babies and shake hands, and Dad was the complete opposite. So Dad said they announced that Dad was there, and so people started coming over, want to talk to him and autograph and stuff. But Tommy Chapman, one of the big shots of BP Fuel, came over and got Dad and took him down to John Force's, pits and everything, and came back and we were sitting around and stuff. Well, once all his races got put out, he brought every one of his crews up there to shake Dad's hand and say, "This is why we make the money we make now. It's because there's people like this man right here." And pointed to my dad. And my dad never got choked up. He wasn't going to get choked up. He got choked up that day. I got choked up that day. It was pretty cool to have somebody like that come over and bring all those people over there to shake Dad's hand. And he stood there and shook their hands. And he just wasn't that type. But he stood there and shook their hands. And so that moment there was really cool. And he got back in the car one time at the East Carolina Racing Hall of Fame in North Carolina. He got in the race car. And in fact, Brett Kettner was there then, talked him into getting in it. He got in it in Speedsport, I believe it was, the time I was filming it. He started it up. And I kind of reached in there and looked at him. He said, "Son, I'm at home." And that's the last time he ever, of course, even sat in the car, heard the car crank up, anything was that day. And so that was, times like that meant a lot, because he was up in age. He developed dementia, and we knew it wasn't long. He got to do that stuff, but it meant a lot more to us as a family and friends and even fans than it did my dad. But it meant a lot to him too.
I think it's great that they showed the respect, not only the person that restored your car for your daddy and you, but coming and getting approval before he put the name on it, but also the other racers, from John Force to his crew to fans just coming up and giving the due respect for people like your father and others who paved the way for the barnstorming that y'all did. You paved the way for everything that racers do now or have available now.
Your dad was a pioneer for funny car.
Yeah, he was one of them, especially here in the South. I mean, they kind of just got started more out west, but yeah, with him and I don't know, Cheryl Greer, Arnie Beswick, Don Nicholson, Phil Bonner. I mean, I grew up around all these people, and then Dean Sox just passed away the other day, Ronnie Sox's son, and he was kind of doing what me and Alan do, driving one of his daddy's cars and stuff. We grew up around these people. Even Richard Petty. When he went drag racing, he and Dad raced each other several times, and we were there the day that Richard had his accident at Dallas.
Right.
My mom filmed it. I still have the reel-to-reel in my dad's drawer. I mean, I have the reel-to-reel from Dad's wreck the day at Yellow River in my dad's drawer here. It's and that changed a lot of our lives. We got to go to see Kyle Petty one time. I took my 6-year-old son at the time. Kyle and Adam were signing autographs. And we took them up there. I got up there. I brought a lot of pictures of Kyle and I together and showed it to him and stuff. And my 6-year-old son looked at Kyle and said, and Adam, before Adam passed away, he looked at him and says, "I know your daddy's the king, but Dale Earnhardt is the man." And to this day, Kyle would, he would, laugh about it. And my son was 6 years old at the time.
Right.
But you look back at, like being a part of the Petties, us being around each other and stuff. I got pictures of Lee Petty carrying me on his shoulders just because I say, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing? Adjusting the valves?" I was a little kid. And Lee Petty picked me up and took me over to their pits on that Dallas Dragway. I spent a whole day in their pits as a little kid.
Right.
Just stories like that, you look back at. It makes what we do today even more special because of looking back at those times and how we were as kids and going places and the people we met.
Right.
Even Bill Elliott, when Dad went into the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame, Bill Elliott came up to me that night and shook my hand and hugged my neck. He said, "I make the money these days because of people like your daddy. He paved the way for us to make the money we make." You got people like that saying that to you. It's it chokes you up. It's no doubt. That's what makes it really cool again to what we do today, bringing back old school drag racing.
Absolutely. But what's the next picture you got, Mitchell?
Oh man, right here.
There you go.
On the dance floor.
Yeah, that's at the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame. Every year, for the Moonshine Festival, Cindy Elliott, Chase's mom, asked me to bring drag cars up there. So I get several of the drag cars with Southeast Gassers, and she let us have the center. We're center of attention every year there, and that's the funny car that we still have on the ramp truck. A ramp truck just like Dad had us, minus the sleeper, and then you got the fastback sitting next to it, and that's a cool picture when you see that, because that brings back a lot of memories of how it was. Back then you saw the ramp trucks with trailers behind them hauling 2 race cars. Orny Beziger was world famous for doing that. Several of them were hauling 2 race cars to a race.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cool pictures.
That was the days before these big tractor trailers and these big double stack car haulers were even thought of.
I
Oh
want to
yeah,
know where you kept the nitro. I want to know where you kept the nitro and methanol back in the day whenever you were traveling from track to track.
that was top secret. It might be in the cab of the truck sometimes, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just it's amazing how many times nitro was just put in wherever we could put it as us traveling. Back then, it wasn't a big deal. Nowadays you go to jail for that, but it wasn't a big deal back then. They'd have nitro hid everywhere.
Yeah.
That,
Now,
that's
that's the new twister.
that's a picture that myself and Rob, when Rob's driving the car, he does the same thing. When I'm driving the car, I do the same thing. We're kind of known for doing the long smoky burnouts, just like they did back in the day. We went to the last Southern Nationals ever run in Commerce. My cousin Alan, we were invited to come there to the match race. The first time I passed Alan and I did a long smoky burnout, and as I was backing up, I could hear the crowd stand up and clapping and yelling. Now I'm inside the race car, and then I did a dry hop, and the announcer didn't expect us to do the dry hop. Did a dry hop, and people were just going crazy, and we ran after Top Fuel. But people loved that because that's how it was back then. The long smoky burnouts and the dry hops. And you'll see people in Southeast Gassers do the same thing. A lot of guys in Southeast Gassers, because that's just how it was, and that's what the fans love. When you can hear, you're inside the race car, and you can hear people clapping and yelling, you've done something. Even if you run like crap, hey, you had a good burnout,
Yeah, you put on a good show.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. It's part of it. It's part of what we do.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you, looking back at some of the older, I'm having some audio problems, I think. Uh, looking back at the older days of funny car and stuff, and watching them do the dry hops after their burnout. And like you said, everybody would get up, stand up, and clap their hands.
I can remember as a kid, I want to get out there. They put the bleach down, they put the rosin down, and go out and sweep it back and forth and stuff. And they did that all the time. And I can go to videos of Dad. He would do 6 or 8 dry hops. Before he'd ever make the pass, and that
Right.
all kind of did that. It's just what they did back then, and like pouring the bleach down, that was just it's crazy. You don't see anything like that these days, and taking the
We see,
rosin.
basically, y'all are the beginning of no prep.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
y'all were the prep.
yeah.
You know,
Pretty much. I mean, you're right. Yeah, and see, back then they ran quarter mile. And they ran on like in the parking lots these days. That's what the surface was like. So they did whatever they could to. You see, the top fuel cars back in the '60s, they smoked the tires all the way down the track. Watch videos. Go back to YouTube and watch videos. They smoked the tires all the way down the track. And but as fast as they run it, because it was just you running with no prep. You just
Very,
running.
very true.
yeah, I want to see how the funny cars. How I think some of them had sticks in them back then. I want to see how they shifted them and stuff. You know? But like I said, now, Mitchell, what's the next one that you got, buddy?
Let's see here. This is a pretty good one right here.
Yeah, that's an old one. That's I can't remember where that's at, but that's the Color Me Gone car, and I can't remember who was driving that car at the time. But look at the fans. The place is packed.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't Yellow River. That's a lot wider.
Yeah, no, that's not Yellow River for sure. And I can't remember what that one was at, but yeah, that definitely wasn't Yellow River. But you look at the fans behind it. Every place they went, that's how it was back then. It was every spot was taken, every piece of grass was taken with people, but they weren't paying. You know, I think we went back to some things not too long ago. Yellow River costing $2.50 to get in. That's you can't buy a Coke for that now.
No.
Now tell me, how did y'all? Is that me, Mitchell?
I think it's back feeding on Rocky's. So I'm
Oh,
going to mute Rocky just real quick. Let you ask the question, and I'll unmute it so you
okay,
can answer.
okay. Hey, Rocky, tell me something. How exactly did? Oh no, still there, Rocky? Hey, Mitchell, unmute him real quick. There you go. Still there, Rocky?
How's that? Is that better?
You're back. Yeah. Man.
Well, all right. Go ahead and ask him the question,
Okay.
Robert.
Yeah. Hey, Rocky, I'm just kind of curious. Back when you and your dad were barnstorming, basically going from track to track and stuff like that, how did that work? Did they pay y'all to come into the show, or was it like a purse to win, and you had to win in order to earn some kind of income?
What happened, Robert? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Back then, back when Dad was racing, the match race won. They got paid so much money most times to show up. They didn't have very some. They had big purses and stuff. Back when Dad was actually racing in the '60s, they got paid so much money to show up. I can remember. And even back then, they might pay them $1,000 back in the '60s to show up. So
Really?
if you think about it, when you're bringing in these racetracks, you're bringing in 20,000 people. They can afford to pay it because
Right.
people like Dad and Nicholson and Beswick and on and on, Cheryl Greer, they could make the money to pay these people to show up. Like I said, that's kind of how we ate. That's how we had Christmas. Dad had to make he had to make money when he'd leave sometimes on Wednesday and not come back to Sunday evening. He'd be run three or four different tracks.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's how he had his money. He had a machine shop. He had a shop too. Him and Hubert had a shop together, even, but that's how they made their money.
Oh, I didn't know they had a shop.
You got Platt Brothers Automotive.
Oh, okay. Now that totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Now, when did he start? When did your father start barnstorming?
Well, I'm not sure. Is that on my end or your end? I can hardly hear you.
Mitchell,
I think it's on your end, Rocky.
What do you want? What should I do here?
Let's see.
How about now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Robert, when you talk, you're back feeding off of his phone.
Man, how am I back feeding?
I don't know. But just real quick, y'all have a great race that's coming up here pretty soon in Knoxville. Here, I think it is June the 6th and the 7th.
Yes, that's correct. We've been going to Knoxville Dragway. We've been going there for several years now. We've been there twice a year to race, but it's such an old school track. It just fits for us. Wes Platt, he bought the track about, I think it's 3 years ago now. And he and his wife, his family, are just doing a fantastic job with that track. They went and bought the visitor section of Commerce when Commerce closed here. The race right in, and they got bleachers set up, and they still keep it old school. But that track and the fans we have at that track, it's exciting every time we go there, and it's one of those tracks too. See, with us, the wall's in play. So, you hit the wall, you're still in play. And at Knoxville, you never know what you might see in Knoxville. Some of these cars. When Donovan Stott was racing with us, I think he'd hit the wall about every race and still win races. Kenneth Phillips is pretty good at it too. A lot of these guys, they use the wall. It's just funny, but that's what's so cool about Knoxville is the excitement there when every time somebody makes a pass. I don't care if it's an H gas, super stock, A gas, AFX. You don't know what's going to happen. It's an exciting racing there. Like I said,
That's
Wes
for
Platt
sure.
and his wife and him have done a fantastic job at that track, and we enjoy going there.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to going there one time. I know Mitchell too. Do you and Leslie, do y'all bust each other's chops?
Uh, Sometimes, Leslie tends to want to bust, since he's a world champion, he tends to want to bust me every now and then just because I'm a nobody. Um, he said,
No,
I like
he wants us to ask you something about the your seat in your car. That's what
yeah,
he's wanting us to ask that.
if Leslie's not busting me, he's busting Greg, he's busting somebody. But Leslie and I have a really good relationship. He just Leslie's Leslie. He's the king, but he got me thrown this past weekend by Kenneth Phillips at the same race they had at Shadyside. And Kenneth's even fighting cancer, and he took Leslie 2 out of 3 at just a match race during the Ronnie Buck Memorial, and it was they had a good time. But Leslie's Leslie's good for Southeast casters. He was Quayne night and day. Quayne was they're just night and day, business wise and everything else. And Leslie, I've enjoyed the second year with Leslie and Wayne, and it's fun. And we're trying to take this Southeast casters to higher levels, and it's just not easy. It's just not easy to do. And we and money these days is tough for a lot of these racers. It's just tough to get there. Every time I leave the house, it's like $1,000. It's most auto racers like that. Just about hotel rooms, fuel, and stuff like that. You go running with $600,000-$700,000 to go racing. But we do it because we love it. We don't do it for the money.
Now, you mentioned all these tracks that y'all go compete at. Which track is actually your favorite that y'all have been to?
That's kind of tough. I mean, Knoxville is a really it's one of I tell you, we go down to Gulfport now. We've been there 2 years in a row, and we race Gulfport, Mississippi. We race at the end of Cruising the Coast. And I don't know if either one of y'all have been there, but for that Cruising the Coast, it goes on for a week. So the last 2 years, we've been at the last weekend of Cruising the Coast. We've been racing at Gulfport Dragway. The Cummins family owns it. And last year, I think we had almost 4,000 people come to the gate. And we had over 2,000. It was on Friday night to watch this race. And then they came back for it. They bought 2 days passes, came back. But that's a very exciting race. The track is really cool. It's perfect for us. We want to try to get more race cars there. We really want to try to get more of our Southeast gas cars there. We've only had, I don't know, 50, 55, maybe 60 cars. We want 90 cars to go for it because it's just such, you can plan a vacation. And you can see a hot rod, street rod. I mean, it's just, we started going down a little bit earlier and spending time going over to all the car shows. And you're going up and down the coast, the beaches there. You can plan a vacation. So Gulfport Dragway is a big part of ours, but also Knoxville Shadyside. Excuse me. You can't beat Shadyside either. My dad ran to Shadyside back in the 60s. The Buff Boys, they've done a great job since Ronnie passed away. Lenny and his boys have done a good job at Shadyside, and we enjoy going to Shadyside. We have drawn a lot of big fans, a lot of fans there. There was one race, I was going to mention this earlier, there was one race, I think 5 or 6 years ago at Paradise Dragway here in Georgia. We had 7 different countries represented. We had them on the starting line. Half of them speak English. we had 7 different countries that one race representing come to watch Southeast Gassers, and that's what's so cool about it. And like Knoxville, Shadyside, we'll have people from Switzerland, I mean, all kind of places, Australia. It's amazing that people fly in to come watch us race, and
Wow.
you just don't see that very often.
No, you don't.
I tell you, if Hollywood wanted to do a movie of drag racing in the '60s, all they have to do is just look y'all up and give y'all each one of y'all a role, and it'd be a great movie.
I don't know if y'all remember the movie Shirley Muldowney, Heart Like a Wheel. Well, those production people came after Dad, wanting Dad before they ever taught Shirley, wanted Dad to. They wanted to do a movie on Dad, but the problem was they wanted to really focus on the wreck.
Yeah.
Dad's career up to the wreck, and the wreck was to be a big part of it. And Dad turned down at the time, and that's a lot of money back at the time. Turned down $10,000 plus a percentage from a book and a percentage from the movie. He turned it all down. He didn't take a penny of it. And then they went after they talked to Shirley, and Shirley ended up doing so. The Heart Like a Wheel came after they had talked to Dad about, I even had funny. We had a couple of friends that had my brother's name was Ricky, and they had the Rocky and Ricky Show T-shirts made up, just because they had heard about them wanting to do the movie and stuff. But it was an honor for somebody to come after Dad to want to do a movie, write a book, and it had been good for our family. I mean, money wise, it's been real good for our family. Get a percentage movie, book, and $10,000 up front. And but Dad was the type man. He couldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. And turned it down.
Well, I have a lot of respect for your dad because, you know, to him, he probably didn't want to make money off of a tragedy that happened. If it was going to be a story, he wanted to be more than likely upbeat and about the history of drag racing, where he came from, and not to focus on that. And I that's that's something special for him not to want to do a movie and focus that part of being the headline of the story.
Yeah, it's just that's how he was. That's just the man he was. He was never going to be the center of attention. And that movie would. It's a girl behind that lived behind us that snuck out that day to go to the race and with her boyfriend. And she was one of the ones that didn't make it. And that always got to Dad. And it's funny, I was building a house. Every house I built for the last 10 years of Dad's life, I built for my mom and Dad to live with us. My wife at the time and my boys. I wanted my mom and dad, with my mom's help, to live with us. I went into a cabinet shop and the lady standing there, she goes, "Are you Houston Platt's son?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." She said, "You're Houston Jr., aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I am." She said, "I've been praying for y'all for many years." She had a child killed at the race that day. And she prayed for our family. She was praying for our family. You know, and I went back home and told Dad about that, and it choked him up. It got to him that day when I told him about that. But good things come out of bad things. I'm a firm believer of that. And Dad's wreck that day changed all the safety of racing. Changed safety between his wreck and Richard's wreck at Atlanta Motor Speedway that day when it went up to the catch fence and everything. Um, it changed racing, and that's one good thing that we always look back on when people come talk to Dad is he did change the history and the safety of racing. Back then, a fan could be 3 feet from the track. That's how it was at Yellow River that day. Literally, that's kind of what caused the accident is a fan reaching out to retrieve a beer he had dropped. To be honest with you, got it on film, and the parachute caught him. And that's tough. And we had to walk running down the track that day to get to my dad, my mom, and I, my brother. We had to walk past this man that was laying on that drag strip. Had been decapitated. Just to be honest with you, and that 8-year-old kid, we having to go run past that to get the want to get to my dad. I had to get to, my mom. My mom want to get down to her husband. And so there's a lot of stuff in that day. But once again, good things come out of bad things. Now you look at the safety of drag racing these days. You look at the fans, how far back they are, everything about it. Even the stuff we do at Southeast Gases, we've changed the way we do stuff now. We try to be more safety conscious of what we do. Because back then, safety wasn't. I got pictures of Dad running with no helmet. Back in the early '60s, just stuff like that. That it could change. One thing could change people's lives quickly. But drag racing, all kind of racing changed from that point forward, and we all moved forward, and here we are today.
Right. So, like you said, the unfortunate things that happened in past has laid the groundwork for improvement things today. Well, your experience that you have from childhood all the way up from racing with your father and stuff like that, I'm sure that helps you now in your job as far as with the Southeast Gassers being race director and other things like that. I'm sure you look into not only keeping the show moving, but the safety aspect of it, the entertainment for the fans and for the racers.
Yeah, we do our best. We really do our best. It's on certain things we can encourage people to do. Like I wear a full fire suit, five layer fire suits. We run on methanol. A lot of these guys, especially A-gas cars, they started running wearing full fire suits. It's not required. You just got to wear a fire jacket. You don't have to. And now most of them are wearing pants, wearing the shoes. We just do what we can. Now you look at my race car. Yes, it's a replica of my dad's, but when Kelvin built this car, it's safety stuff he did to it. To make sure that me or Rob or whoever's driving it is going to be safe. My son's been in the car. My son's been in the car a couple of times. My youngest son he's wanting to get into racing and drive his car so bad, and I want him in it, but he just got married and there's a job and stuff. It's a lot going on for him to be involved enough to learn about the car. But someday he'll be in the car, But as a dad, I'm sure you stand back and go, oh, I don't know if I want that, but I do want him. I want him in the race car. I want him to learn how to drive the race car. And, these cars are safe. We've had people wreck. Art Copeland had a bad wreck 2 or 3 years ago and flipped like 5, 6 times, and he came out, and he had some issues, but he lived, and he was fine. He's racing with us today. So these cars are, to be 67 and older, they're still pretty safe cars.
You know good and well if you what will happen whenever your boy races and drives. You know good and well what's going to happen. It's happened to all of us. Oh yeah, it's happened to all of us. It just sets the hook, and then it'll be like, hey, Dad, hey, what if?
Oh, I trust me. I know, and he and I talk about this a lot. Logan's a good kid. He loves the racing. He loves the history behind it. Even Alan, my cousin, he said, he said, the day I die, he says, I'm going to leave all my stuff to Logan, which is my son. He said, because he's going to be one to carry on to racing. He's going to be one to carry on everything because he loves it. And I'm glad he loves it. I loved it when I was a kid. If it would have been for what happened with Dad, who knows how my life would have gone, where I'd have been. I might have been in a funny car. I might have been in a top fuel car. I mean, it's just our life's changed, but because of people like Kelvin Cannon and Southeast Gassers, I was able to live out a dream and still living out a dream. And talked to my cousin the other day, and he said, Rocky, he says, it's just amazing that we're able to do what we're doing and to live out a dream and our dad's name staying alive in what we're doing. And we're doing it through the Southeast Gassers. And the way we go about it, I say it over and over again, we go about it as a family, the whole association. Not just me and my cousin and me and Kelvin and me and Rob. Rob and I've known each other since we were little. It just goes far beyond that. It's just everybody that has anything to do with Southeast Gassers is a big part of us living our dream.
Now, I have a quick question to ask you. If anybody watches this, either they're watching it now or they watch it later on our Facebook page and YouTube, and please, if this is your first time watching our podcast, please go to our Facebook page and like it. go subscribe on our YouTube channel, because we like to bring all aspects of drag racing, motorsports, broaden, not just drag racing, but we are trying to broaden a little bit. We're going to try to get some ARCA series drivers on. But, yes, our main focus is, I guess, is drag racing, because me and Robert, we do it. But if they're watching this tonight or tomorrow or the next day, let them know the reason why they need to come to a Southeast Gasser Association event and enjoy it.
I tell you, Mitchell, we do our best to, when people come to our races, I've actually let kids sit in my car and start my car. Just because when they came up to me, the way they talked to me, the way they acted, I said, come back when I'm got to warm it up and you can start it yourself. And it's not just me. It's Leslie does it all the time. Ernie Smith, Todd Oden. It's just so many of them that do that. I can go on and on. That you let kids, you let mom and dad. You see moms. I got pictures everywhere of people taking. The moms have gotten in the car. They wouldn't let the dad in the car. The mom's gotten in the car. She wanted her picture taken in the car. That's part of what we do, and that's and like I said, it's not just one or two of us. It's everybody that races with us that they do the same thing. You'll see our pits are wide open. It's you come and you see a great show, you see excitement, and we're pretty much too. We keep everything on time. The time we start, the time we finish, unless we have oil down or we have something happen, we stay tight on the time. We're always looking at our watches, going, let's go, or we need to slow down a little bit. We have to slow down sometimes. We have a great person working our tower, actually two of them, Angela Blackwell and Bonnie, and they run out everything up in the tower, and they're great about that, keeping everything on time. They radio us to what to do, and that I'm saying that because the fans don't want to have downtime. They just don't want to have a lot of downtime. With Southeast Gases, you don't have a lot of downtime. We try to keep things rolling, and like I told you, every time a pass is made, you don't know who's going to hit the wall. You don't know how they might hit each other. They won't hit each other, but they'll cross center lines, and you go back and look at the videos, you'll see people go in front of each other, behind each other. It's just kind of part of it, but it's excitement. The fans love it, and that's that's what we want them to come see.
Yeah,
I'll give you some reasons, Mitchell, and you'll agree. I'll give you some reasons. No rev limiters. Okay, heads up. 4 speeds only. No automatics. No two steps allowed. No rev limiters, like I said before, and the clocks are off. So burnouts, long smoky ones, dry hops encouraged. Backup girls, the whole thing. Line it up. 2 go down, 1 comes back. It's simple, and that's the way it should be.
And Robert, you brought up the backup girls. They're a huge part of what we do. I mean, they're part of the show. They are fantastic. We have anywhere, they can be 13, 14 years old, or they might be 60 years old. They're out there backing up their husband, their dad, their boyfriend, whatever. They're a big part of the show. And one thing you didn't mention, we actually have a rule about wheelies. I mean, you got to have the wheel so far in the air, leaving the line. We have that rule. It's hard to enforce the rule because of the tracks and stuff. But we do have. You got to have wheels in the air. That's part of it. I've got shots of my car going in the air in third gear. On the wheelie bars in third gear. It's just part of it, and that once again, the fans love that. When you got 2 cars leaving the start line with the wheels in the air, and Adam Lowhorn, I don't know if you've seen Adam Lowhorn in the Falcon. He puts it on the bumper. He goes all the way down the track, shifting gears on the bumper.
Is that the quick draw? Is that quick draw?
No, Diana Castro's quick draw. What is Adam's car's name? Brain dead now.
Adam, if you're out there, let us know the name of your car.
I'm
telling Adam, if he's out there, tell me the name of his car, because that's how I try to remember him.
Yeah, I can't believe it. That's what I'm telling you about early. Kaylee Smith married was Adam, and every time he comes to a race, people might be at the bathroom, concession stand. They're coming over to watch Adam. He's gonna put the wheels in the air every time he's on the track. But he loves doing it. That's part of it. He's never wrecked a car that I know of. But I've known
Right.
him from the time he was a kid. It seems like I've known him
Ah,
for 10 years now.
There you go.
Rod Slinger.
Rod Slanger. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank
okay, okay. I thought Rod Slinger was the Studebaker truck, but I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Okay.
you. Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie. Really appreciate that.
Who, who was that that told you? Was it Adam?
No, it's Leslie.
No, Leslie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know he's got the little mental Rolodex going, and he's just filling us in on it, which it's rightfully so. But it is an excellent show, and I tell you, Lee keeps up. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, that's Troublemaker. Got you. I'll get it right one day. I'll get it right. I'll keep working at it. But you see, it's like, what I was going to say is, I tell everybody, if for some reason you cannot make one of their shows, whether, across the country or whatever like that, definitely look at their videos. Lee Craft and his group does videography and everything like that. And they do an excellent job. Excellent round by round, excellent entertainment, excellent interviews with drivers like yourself and Robbie and Leslie and everybody in between. So it's really good. Well done.
And you'll get a great photographer too.
Yeah, we've got several good photographers this year. That's one I was getting ready to say. That's one thing we've done this year as a team. Leslie, Wayne, and I, and Stephen, and all of us. Lee Craft has made a huge difference in what we're doing. And Lee's daddy, I don't know if y'all remember Gene Cromer or not. Gene Cromer's a Hall of Famer. His daddy, Lee's daddy, worked for Gene for many years, many years.
Wow.
And bringing Lee on this year to be a part of what we do, that's one business move that's really worked out. Lee has done a fantastic job, and he's brought in the right people and people that understand us, know what we're about. So yes, Lee's done an excellent job, and we're very happy with Lee and what he does, and he's brought on people, that we wouldn't have never met, to photographers, whatever, to follow the Southeast Gassers. Robert, how did you just decide to come to a race? I think, didn't you?
I actually didn't know. We interviewed Leslie before. Okay.
Leslie?
No,
Did he let you
interviewed Leslie, and actually, I was right outside Shelby, visiting family in outside Spindale, Ruffton, which is basically about 30 minutes west of Shelby. Anyway, and I was a week late from your race. Okay, I had the dates wrong when I was visiting family for one of your races. So we set up a time and interviewed Leslie, and I'm like going, I've been following y'all for years. I've been following since Quayne started it. Okay, I've been watching videos and all this stuff like that, and I've been watching since Gene Fulton came out with his Willis.
Yeah.
That was questionable at the time. What I mean? And I really, really love the setting, and I love what y'all did. So when the opportunity came up where the time it came up, we're all coming to South Georgia. That's one of our tracks we go to. I'm like, I've got to go. So I literally took off time from work and drove up to Georgia just to come meet you and just come shake your all's hands and to see. And I got a list of people that I've talked to, and we lined up a couple, Greg being one of them, you being another one. And took a lot of pictures and stuff like that, and we were able to post that on our site early to try to help push the race and your events. And so we promote y'all's schedule, we promote your next races, we promote videos y'all put up and post, because y'all are a really good organization. And like I said, and I'm not kidding when I said I just came up and y'all just started talking to me like old home week, and I'm talking to everybody, not just you, Rocky. But that's how everybody was treated that came through the gate. So that's a great reflection on all of y'all. So thank you.
We appreciate it. That's what it means. It means a lot to us. Now, Leslie wants to sign an autograph for you, but that's just Leslie. I know he's listening. No, but that's.
I didn't ask him to sign nothing. Okay, I just shook his hand. I just wanted to come up and shake his hand.
But we appreciate you saying that, because that's what, and Leslie and I talk about this all the time. That's what we strive for. We want people just to come out and see what we're about and shake the hands and talk to people. There's some good people out there, and I know you talk to a lot of them. Mitchell, we'd like for you to come to a race and meet a lot of these people we're talking about. And and you walk up, shake their hands, and talk to them, you'll see exactly what we're talking about.
I tell you, I really wanted to go, but I was running pretty low on PTO, so I'm having to try to conserve it, and I'm still trying to conserve some more because actually, me and Robert, we're going to take a flight up to Indianapolis and go to the Big Go this year, and
Yep.
I was in Charlotte back in April. I was in Concord for the four wides, and so just trying to navigate and get into some of those areas. And unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, not unfortunately, but fortunately, the NHRA has been really nice to us as well, and been giving us media credentials to go to some of these races that we've asked for. And I want to fulfill that because I want to have that opportunity when it arises, that if I ever get a hard card and be able to go to all of them, I want to try to fulfill as many of them as possible. But yes, I wanted to go up there that Friday, but I was low on PTO and having to try to build it back up.
So I volunteered.
But yep, Robert volunteered, and so he went and done the journalism job for us, and taking pictures and everything, and we got those uploaded on our page to further push it. And like Robert says, every time y'all put up a flyer, it goes up on our page.
Well, we appreciate that. That's what we want. And I tell you, if you ever want to come to one, Metro, if you ever go come to one, I've got a little pool. I can get you a pass to get in, and it won't cost you a penny to get in. I promise you that. And we'll feed you lunch and stuff too. We didn't feed Robert lunch, but next time I see him, we'll feed him lunch too. Well, I got a little pool to get you a pass to get in.
We would appreciate it, and actually, because since we interviewed the Buffs of Shady Side, I love that track. I absolutely love it. Okay, but since talking to you, I want to go to Gulfport and I want to go to Knoxville. Okay, I've never been to either one of those tracks, and I've been past Greer, and I got some buddies that race there, but I've never raced there. I don't think y'all race there this year. Y'all have raced there in past, but not this year. I don't think.
It's been several years since we've been to Greer, but you never know. We might be back at Greer. It'd be packed if we ever went back to Greer.
Oh yeah.
You never know. I mean,
like
Shady Side's always packed. It's people love the Southeast Gassers around that area.
If history serves me right, Greer, when it first started out, it was dirt. Correct?
Shady Side was dirt. Shady Side was dirt.
Shady Side was dirt. Many years, yeah. Because Dad raced at Greer and Shady Side, but years. I think Shady Side back in the 50s, late 50s, it was dirt.
Yeah, it was dirt. But Mitchell, I think you're right. Greer wasn't dirt, but it was more outlaw. But I can't think exactly. But no, I don't think that one was dirt. But it definitely wasn't to where it is now. Put it that way. It definitely wasn't. But it's just one of the things. Yeah, Shady Side was dirt. But also, Rocky, I'm planning on going to the Tri-5 this year up in Bowling Green. And that's what I was mentioning to you. I don't think y'all have an off weekend, but if some of the gassers that y'all have, 55 through 7s, are in the area, show up for that, y'all can make some great exhibition passes and run heads up and be great media for the Southeast Gassers. Just sharing that.
If I'm not mistaken, I think some of them are planning on going. Leslie might even be planning on going. I can't remember now, but some of them talked about that. You're talking about Beach Bend. I'm going to be there Father's Day weekend for the Hot Rod Reunion. We're taking the funny car there, and they want me in the funny car for the Cackle Fest.
Oh.
And the car's just going to be on show, but we're going to do the Cackle Fest. But what's cool is they got a fire suit from back when, in the 60s. The silver
really?
One that they've got set up for me.
So the 10-4 with the big flap on it and everything?
It's going to have a mask. I got Dad's old helmet. It's like a bicycle helmet. There's no safety to it, but I've got Dad's old helmet, but it's going to be the fire suit, to the boots, the gloves, and everything when I'm in the race car. So, it's not racing the car, but it's pretty exciting to get in there and just do that in front of a huge crowd. I'm excited about it. It's something different.
Now, okay. How much nitro are you going to run in it?
We're gonna have it set up where it's gonna blow. It's gonna blow some large flames. Put it that way. It'll be about 100% nitro.
100%
Yeah,
nitro.
that's how it's gonna be set up. It's gonna be set up anywhere 95 to 100% probably.
Gee,
It's gonna blow flames.
well, yeah, but how long is a Crackle Fest usually? I think once they get them fired up at what? It goes for what, 2 minutes to five
Yeah,
minutes?
not
No,
long. In fact,
2 minutes, I think.
we're having a bigger tank put on the race for it. So they say they don't want you don't want to be the last one. So
Right.
they got somebody putting a bigger tank. Chris Davis has somebody putting a bigger tank on the car. Had Julius Hughes putting a bigger tank on the car right now for it to last a little longer. But yeah, it don't last but a couple minutes.
Right.
A
Because I
couple
do
minutes seems
remember.
like an hour though. You know.
I do remember on some of the narrow tracks when they run them down to the eighth mile, as far as they push them and get them
Right.
cracking, and
Yep.
they start stacking them at the eighth mile. Man, them headers and all that stuff are absolutely glowing cherry red by the last car that actually pulls up and stops.
Yeah.
So they could do it. I'm like going, ooh, inside there you're sweating pretty hard thinking about this thing,
It, it's
but
pretty
it's part
cool.
of it. It's
Yeah.
part of it. It's part of the entertainment. I tell you, man, what do you do there at Lamar Walden shop, LA or LWA?
I'm the general manager. Rob's daddy passed away in 15. It was tough him to run that business. But Rob loves building engines. He loves working on stuff. He was trying to run the office, build engines and everything. And I had a situation with my business. I had a business partner that got me really bad, and I decided to get out of the flooring business. 35 years of being my own boss and having my own
Mm,
business, and that many years. And Rob and I sat down and talked one day, and he needed somebody to help him run his business, and we're best friends, and I enjoy every day going in there. I mean, it's just it's tough because we stay 6 months behind of people wanting engines built. It's unbelievable. I've learned so much is how people want engines built. Street cars, race cars, everything else, and it's when you're on the phone with these people and you're trying to, you know, tell them to. You tell them 6 months. I said, okay, when can I bring it? Stuff like that. Rob is so good at building engines and doing other things and um, welding and everything else he does. It's hard for him to run the business, and he depends on me to do that. And we made a good team doing it for the last 13, 14 months. That's how long I've been there with them. And like I said, his mother babysat me when I was 8 years old. I've known. I mean, I'm 63 now, so I mean, I've known the Waldens for a long time. That's what's cool about Rob driving my car. Really, other than my son, Rob is the only one who really needs to be in the car driving it because of the history of my dad, his dad, the family history. My son worked for Rob for about 3 years. Um, my youngest son, I was talking about Logan, where he went on to do other things. He worked for Rob, so it's really cool. We stay really good friends, even though we work together. Stay really good friends. We race together, and he's a big part of Southeast Gassers. He just built a super stock. He's
oh
going
yeah,
after he's going after Jerry Dean. Jerry Dean's the king of superstar right now.
oh yeah, he is. I
Rob
want to.
going
I
after
want
him.
to. He's got what? Is it a '64 that he built?
This, Rob, he's got the 62. 62 or
62.
63.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you, I know what Dean runs pretty close. I'm not going to say anything here. I tell you what, that's going to be getting it, which I believe it. I believe it because I mean everything I've ever seen him run Strict 9 was hauling for a W base A gasser. That car would absolutely fly, and so I look
So
forward
Rob,
to it.
with that short wheelbase, Rob could compete with Leslie and Kenneth and Ben Christopher and Chase Howard and those guys because of short wheelbase. Rob could tree them. He could 60-foot them. Top ends where Rob, I mean, it's been many times I've been on my scooter ready to go get Rob because the car's going to turn over. He'd be on two wheels, one wheel. Um, and he couldn't compete. He could compete, but he just couldn't win in A-Gas with Leslie and Greg and all those guys. But the super stock deal, it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm telling you. He's
I'm
gonna.
looking forward to that because I've always told Mitchell, I said if I could run Southeast Gassers, I said it'd either be a super soccer or believe it or not, an H gasser because I like unique, and that definitely falls under unique.
And,
Yeah,
and
both those classes are great. I mean, super stock and the H gas class. I hope the H gas class gets bigger because it's really a cool class and it's affordable too.
Yes.
Because people come out and build cars and compete, and Superstock's affordable too, more so than the gassers. But Superstock's a cool class, I guess, because we kind of grew up with it. And you look back at the car, Rob's got his painted up just like it would have been in the '60s. That's
Right.
another neat thing about it. And can't take anything away from Jerry Dean. Excuse me. Jerry Dean, they test. Karen Mitchell, his crew chief, they're the best there is right now. Superstock. They do what they got to do. But Rob and I talk every day about you got to go after them. You got to set a goal and go after them. That's what you do, and that's what Rob's doing.
Man, Leslie
I'm going to
is
show you
just
some comments, and I'm going to let him.
Leslie is just absolutely wearing you out, Rocky.
Here you go, Rocky. Here's one right here. I'll let you read that one and let you comment back to him.
Can you see it, Rocky?
I don't see it.
It says, it goes, where they get the safety suit for a midget?
Golly, man.
See,
and then I want to concentrate on this comment right here as well. Jody, talking about meeting you and you talking to them and
Jody
dad,
McCarthy.
Yeah, talking about his dad, where they met with you and said, man, after they talked to you, they were hooked. I was just trying to,
I think that was at the Moonshine Festival last year.
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, the Moonshine Festival is big for us, and we promote Southeast Gassers too. But it comes back to what Mitchell and Robert. Everywhere we go, we talk about the old school drag racing. We talk about Southeast Gassers, and just cause that's what we do. I
don't know. Leslie's got a thing about your legs too. I don't know what that deal is.
Ask Rocky about how pretty he thinks his legs are.
He's jealous of the legs. Oh, Tim Hall's mother, Jane Hall. Tim Hall's one of our world champions a couple years in a row. His mother says I had the sexiest legs, and Leslie just doesn't like that. And I think Jane just turned 80, and I love Jane to death, but she's got less to go on about my sexy legs, she thinks. So, see, they asked me if Leslie's always busting. He said, yes, he is, Robert.
I never heard anybody focus so much on somebody's legs.
Hey, that's what hey, that's how we get along.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is, but it's like it's still funny just to hear that, because I can hear him saying it. I can just hear Leslie saying it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay.
See, he's always got to bust me somehow, especially when he has to pay me. When he has to pay me, he gets kind of quiet. He's not chirping as much when he has to pay me. He's complaining.
Yeah. I got you. It's the low hanging fruit. I got you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't blame you. But I tell you, what changes have you made on your car this year, if anything?
It's not running good. So anything we've done hasn't been. We haven't even come close to winning a race yet, but we've done some things right now that, in fact, it's going on the dyno tomorrow to see if some of the changes we made is working. So we'll see what happens. Todd's 1-1, Alan's 1-1, and we hadn't even come close to winning 1. So we're going to do something, or I need to take it to Leslie and let him work on it since he wins all the time, see whether he can fix it. But we're going to figure out something to be competitive again, because that car's won a lot of races. They won 2 years ago, won 5 or 6 races in 1 year. So the car's won a lot of races, and it will continue to win. We just got to figure out what's wrong with it right now and see what we can do to fix it.
Well, I tell you what, again, I want to thank you for joining the podcast tonight, talking about your history in motorsports and in your families as well. I knew this was going to be a great show when I started seeing the pictures that you sent Robert the other day, to try to go back a little bit back in time and move forward to where we are now. And y'all are doing such a great job preserving drag racing and what it was like in the 60s.
Well, Mitch, we appreciate it. Leslie's put together a great team. what we do with Southeast Gassers. And all jokes aside, Leslie and I are close friends, and we work hard together to try to, you know, preserve this preserves the history of racing. People like my dad. If we didn't have this, Dad's name or Huber's name, it just kind of they still be around, but it just kind of go away. If you know what I mean? And
Right.
this really makes it stay. Even Quain Stott and Mick Stott, they were pro mod champions. You know, but with Southeast Gassers, they would they wouldn't be forgotten, but it would kind of put on the back burner. But because of what Mitch did with Southeast Gassers, what Quain did with Southeast Gassers, they still, you know, the names stay alive, and that's a big part of what we do. And that's all.
Well, I tell you, anytime y'all have something that's coming up, an event, or even if y'all have a rules change to one of y'all's classes, if that ever comes about, please let us know. We'll put it on the website of what's going on in the organization. You know, everything from racing schedules to rule changes, uh, and how the crowds can come out and enjoy these events, entry feeds for the races, and also feeds at the gate for the spectators.
Yeah, we'd love for y'all to do that for us. That'd be great. We'd send it to you. And you just mentioned something I forgot to mention. We have one of the best tech teams around, in my opinion. Um, it was Sam Gable and John Lydick. If it wasn't for them doing what they do for the Southeast Gassers, it, it wouldn't work because people want to be creative. So I'm gonna put it that way, not cheap, be creative and do stuff. And Sammy and John do a fantastic job of staying on top of people, doing that job, inspecting cars, breaking cars down. We've never had that really. What they do. And talking about rule changes, when they do rule changes, we make sure they're out there. People get them. We notify everybody, and we don't try to kill people on rule changes. We try to make it more even field. That's all we try to do to make it where everybody can be competitive. And that's not. It's hard to do because you got people spending a lot of money on. You might have somebody spend $100,000, $90,000 on the engine. You got people spending $30,000 on the engine. But racing's racing. Anybody can red light, and anybody can miss a gear. You never know. You can win at any time, and that's what makes what we do with Southeast Gasser special too. And, you know, if you can make rounds, look at Greg. I think Robert, you met Greg. You said you talked to Greg.
Yep.
Greg, he's talking about breaking a world record, breaking a record. We want him to just go win 2 or 3 rounds. You know, that's exciting with Southeast Gassers, and you go and just win rounds because it is so competitive.
His goal is to set the record. He said, I don't care if it's one run, I want the record. And I'm like, that's determination. We like hearing that. You know, you got to have something that motivates you. And it's the competition, and him, it's not only competition, but it's performance with the really strict rules. So I like it. We all do.
I think Greg's wife in Georgia said, "Don't worry about the record. You go win a race." And and we all laughed about that because we'd love to see Greg go win a race. But Leah said, "Yeah, don't worry about the record. You just go win a race." And she wanted to beat Leslie too, one of the biggest things. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're both competitive.
Oh yeah, well,
You know.
we got B gas, C gas. It's all the same too. You got
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
competitive, and they're just like Greg and Leslie. You just don't hear as much about them, but they're just like Greg and Leslie. They're after each other. It's all good, clean fun, but they're after each other. You know, they want to go. They want to set a goal. They want to beat, the Ted McKee of the world, and B gas. You got the Tim Hall and Todd Owens and C gas. I mean, people want to beat them. It's just simple as that. They have Ken Rainwater and big gas. People want to beat them, and that's what that's what makes it fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And that's what keeps people coming back for more.
Yeah, and that's what we want. That's how Leslie eats. You know, he has a real estate business, but he's trying to make millions for Southeast Gases. So we need the fans to come out for support Leslie. That was just mean, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was, but it's all right. That's fair.
And all jokes aside, Leslie's good for Southeast Gassers. And I back him up all the time. Yes, he's been winning. And I'm telling you what, if you go out and you go play basketball, you go play golf. I play a lot of golf. You go play chess. You're out to win. You know, whatever you do, you're not going to back off. If you go do it, you're going out to win. That's what Leslie does. He goes out to win. And when he doesn't win, he's not happy. He's a grumpy old man when he doesn't win, like this past weekend. But everybody, when you do what we do, you actually go out to win. You don't go out to, to let somebody else win. That's not going to happen. I don't care if you're man or woman. It's just not going to happen. Everybody's competitive.
It's not going to happen more than once. Put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
It ain't going to happen more than once. You're going to do something. Be sad, be glad, but do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never go to the track saying, well, if I make it past first round, I'll be happy. No, I want to go all 5, 6, 7 rounds, and I want to be grabbing that check at the end of the day, even if I have to take out this guy that's joining with me this afternoon on here.
Yeah, I agree. That's how it should be. That's Leslie, when Leslie's won those races, he signed his own check. I'm okay with that. If you go out, a lot of people complain about Leslie winning, but I wouldn't back down. If I was in Leslie's shoes, I'm not going to back down. I'm going out to win. I think we're all the same way. You have to either stop racing completely and just be the owner of Southeast Gassers, and that's one of the reasons I'm not in my car this year. Rob Walter's driving my car because my focus on race day is doing my job. What Leslie's paying me to do, and that's so because I'm too competitive just to jump in the car and make a pass and come back. Rob can come back and work on it, do what he's got to do, and my car is still out there, and that's what I like about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rocky, thank you a lot again for joining us tonight. It's been a great podcast. Everyone, if you're coming on here late watching the podcast, please go back to the beginning. And also, if you didn't catch it on here and you're at work, Robert will eventually have it up probably in the next day or two on Spotify. Yeah. So you can actually just go on Spotify and listen to the interview, which is really great. So if you're not familiar with us, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. But again, thank you, Rocky. We hope that the rest of the Southeast Gassers Association's schedule goes along great without any rain. So y'all can get on through the remainder of the season.
Well, thank you guys, and I appreciate you supporting us, supporting me, supporting Southeast Gassers. It means a lot to people like y'all to follow us and support us. That's what it takes for us to be successful with the Southeast Gassers. We have a lot of good people that work for Southeast Gassers and race for Southeast Gassers, and it means a lot to all of us when people like y'all that support us, and we appreciate it. And please remember, if you come into a race, please let me know.
Oh, don't worry, we will.
And I'll make sure, do. And just before you go, I want to remind everybody, you can follow Southeast Gasser Association on Facebook. They have a page. Like Rocky was saying, there's a lot of videos on there, a lot of pictures, a lot of great information for you to go read and watch.
And you can see, if you want to buy apparel, Stephen Smith has got all the Southeast Gasser apparel. He does a fantastic job. T-shirts, hats, everything with Southeast Gassers. So he has, you can find him on the website too and on the Facebook page. And go order your Southeast Gasser T-shirts, hoodies, hats, and he'll ship them to you if you're not able to make the race.
See, there you go, everybody. Now you know from the man on where you can go get your stuff. So we expect y'all to hit them up first thing as soon as we're done with this interview. Go hit them up. And actually, y'all racing, is it Knoxville?
Yes.
Yep.
Next week? Is it next week?
Not this weekend, but next weekend. 6 and 7.
Okay. So everybody in that area, or even if you're not in that area, just plan on going. Plan on going to a Southeast Gassers race this year. Support them. You trust us, you will have a great time.
We appreciate it. Y'all please come see us, and all the fans come look at it. If you are at a race, please come over and introduce yourself. Love to shake your hand. Introduce yourself to Leslie, Wayne, any of us. We'd love to shake your hand and welcome you to a race.
Absolutely.
I want to
Absolutely.
start your car up.
Hey, you think I'm kidding? Yeah, Mitchell, you come on.
Hey.
I'll put you in the driver's seat and let you start it. I promise.
I'll tell you this much, Mitchell. I was impressed. Mechanical fuel injection. His cousins, everybody, they fired right up. It wasn't no sit and wait, sit and spin and all that stuff. They fired right up and were crisp. And I'm like, okay, no black smoke, none of that stuff. I'm like, okay, they had those things set up right. I don't know who set up all your mechanical injection. I don't know if it was Robbie and all that stuff, but they worked well. Really well.
You just put pressure on Mitchell now. If he gets in the car, it better start right up.
Hey, and also you might need to have a shovel with you, a square point shovel, because you might have to use it to get me out of the car.
He bars to open that bar because I'm getting old. It's hard to get in and out of that car. So we can get you in and out of it somehow, some way, with or without a shovel.
I might not want to get out of it, is what I'm saying.
I know.
Well, don't worry. You can be assisted. Don't worry, Mitchell. You or I could be assisted out of somebody's car, you know.
Hey, keep in mind, Mitchell, if you stay in the car, though, you got to help pay for it.
I hear you.
Okay, yeah, that's motivation.
Motivation
Gotta get me out of there really quick.
That's motivation.
Hey guys, thank y'all so much. I really enjoyed this. It's a fun podcast to be on, and like once again, thank y'all for your support. I mean, we appreciate everything y'all do.
We appreciate it, Rocky. Thank you so much, everybody here on the Spot Motorsports. Thank y'all very much for everything.
Y'all take care. Thank you.
All right, take care, Rocky.
Man, what a great podcast tonight. I just
that was a lot of fun.
I just love his family's history, you know, and going through those old photos, you know, the 60s and stuff and 70s to me is still not that long ago as it is for younger people. But you could just see his love for the sport and for that association every time that he mentioned something about it.
Yes, you could. I could sense it, and I'm sure everybody around him does sense it. There you go. There's the Southeast Gassers YouTube page. I forgot they do have a YouTube page, so please go there and check them out at Southeast Gassers Association on YouTube. Also Facebook. And man, I tell you, man, Leslie, I gotta give it to you, man. You got them little icons set up quick with the chick magnet, you know, and I like it. And he used to own and run the Stud Muffin. How do you get a better names than this, right? And but yes, Rocky and his family have a long standing name in the sport of drag racing. Basically the forefathers of where we are today. And I like the fact that they're carrying it forward, running the AFX cars that his father and his uncle raced and competed with. George's shirt on the wall.
Yes. Yeah, actually there's a couple up there, Robert. We got Angels at the top. That's the close call one. And then you probably can't tell it, but it's behind the trophies there. That is the late John Myers.
That was a good one.
And actually have the marketing portfolio in there in a sealed bag with John Myers' autograph on it. And I have the motorcycle diecast to go along with it.
Yes.
But yes, I actually seen the post just the other day of George Bryce, you know, using y'all's products and stuff on the fuel tank to help keep the fuel cool and stuff, and just some really great stuff. And I tell you, George is a wonderful person. I've known him for a long time, and actually we were very grateful of George Bryce when my son was in the NICU, and I want to say John Hall and Scotty Polachek they were riding the pro stock motorcycles then when my son was born, and he was in the NICU. He was born at 24 and a half weeks. And George put stickers on both of those pro stock motorcycles, praying for Zane Gunter. And I really appreciated of him doing that for us. It meant a whole lot to me and my wife. It was a really tough time for us to go through that. A lot of nights of not getting any sleep. And, I actually got with the newspaper, and we done an article on it to write up with about George, and also the support from Steve Torrance and their family during that time. Just rallied around us, and a lot of prayers. And I tell you, George is good people. And if you
Yeah.
want to know anything about motorcycles, he has his Tech Talk Tuesday stuff. Go over to George Bryce's page and listen to it, because not all of it involves motorcycles. Some of that information he gives also involves our cars, our engines that we have
Automotive.
in vehicles, and how everything works with the valves, intake and exhaust valves and lift, and just some really great stuff that he still does today to
Absolutely.
keep on educating people. But yeah, Robert, thanks a lot. Thanks for noticing. But yeah, I cherish both of those crew shirts quite.
And Robert, I can tell you, I've been there. That man cave, it's got a little more than what you can see right there. It's got some really cool shirts, really cool apparel, memorabilia, and stuff like that. A bunch of die casts. I couldn't believe all the die casts Mitchell has laying everywhere. I think I laid on one at one time, but I'm not going to talk about that one. I still got that pain on the right hip. But anyway, we're not going to talk about it. Anyway, moving on from that one. But and also, Robert, I think I reached out to you before on an email asking you about some of your products.
That was awesome. That is awesome right there.
That is really cool that he promoted y'all, and you do have some excellent products. And actually, when we talked to the Country Dog family, Hidalgos, I think they were going to reach out to you about some of your products for their stockers. So hopefully they do.
Yeah, because they actually had ran them before.
Correct.
In past. Yeah.
And in past, and he was, I think, going to reach out to him before with his latest cars about some things there. So you got some really nice products. I think I reached out to you for something about us to help Mitchell and I keep cool during these nice, cool summer days.
Like this weekend where it's going to be 94, 96 degrees.
Yeah. Oh gosh, don't get me started. Why, Gainesville, do we have
130 in the car with a fire
Why
jacket?
do we have a scheduled race in June? Why? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yes, back to Rocky. Thank you for him taking the time to share, and also being associated with the Lamar Walden family and shop, which has a phenomenal history. Okay, and thank you, Robert. Yeah, yep. Thank you. It has a phenomenal history, not only Southeast Gassers, but just racing in the Southeast. Okay, for at least 2 generations now. And the way they support the Southeast Gassers, because I see Lamar Walden's stuff, their stickers, their signs, and stuff like that on tons of cars, Gassers, AFXers, Super Stockers, and stuff like that. It's really great to see racers supporting companies. And so we encourage everybody, hey, if you're up near Atlanta area, that's where Lamar Walden shop is at. Okay, look them up. You need some racing machine work done, look them up. And also support the people that support Southeast Gassers. G-Force, for example, Mahle Bearings, MAHLE, I think I'm saying that correctly. Okay, them and others. Okay, but also support Lee Craft, who's doing the videography. Between the Slicks, Monday Morning Racer is just 2 of the podcasts that he associated with.
You speak of Lee, and the Southeast Gassers Association goes in really great with what he does with the funny car chaos events.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's all around that era, that he is focusing on, and he does a really good job with NHRA Lucas Oil and also NHRA national events talking about the alcohol classes, both funny car and dragster. But yeah,
Agreed.
go follow Leah as well. Does a great job, and hopefully we can get Lee Kraft back on here because we also like to pick his brain a little bit
Mhm.
as well. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's a good, solid guy to talk to with a world of knowledge. So we encourage everybody to go to a Southeast Gassers race. And
There you go. That's cool.
oh man, there you go. See, there you go, Robert. That's great. But also, we wanted to thank the people that help us, including Scorpion Racing Products and Redline Synthetic Oil. And also, if anybody out there would like to get involved with us with either the podcast or with the live feed, Mitchell goes out every time we go racing at Gainesville. Okay, he does a live feed. Okay, if anybody would like to get involved with us on either one of those or both, just reach out to Mitchell or I. That's all you got to do. But also, we appreciate everybody that supports us on Facebook. We're continuing to grow. We're over 21,000 now. We've already exceeded our goal for the year, but we still want to grow. And we're right at 700 on YouTube. Our goal is 1,000 initial goal, but hey, we're keeping working at it. And like I said, we have other platforms. We started the Spotify platform just to give people options, and also the Instagram page, which continues to grow. I want to tell everybody thank you. Thank you very much for your help. And we ask you to support those that have worked with us, including Redline and Scorpion. We've worked with them. We've run their products for years. Get
Oh,
Mr.
there you go.
Collins.
Get
Get
Mr. Collins in touch with Leslie.
Okay, Robert, there you go. And if you do, and Robert, if you do not have Leslie's contact info, just reach out to me. I'll put you in contact with them, or Mitchell too, for that matter.
Yep.
We'll put you in contact with them, so you can go to the head of the stream and talk to them. And like I said, they'll work with you. But there's like I said, they have a lot of great people working in that association, and I'm not kidding. I got a list of people I wrote down when I went up to the race. I'm not going to read them off, but I'm just going to say, like I said, a lot of good people here. But also, don't forget Quick Time Performance with the Southeast Gassers. Don't forget them. Barry Adler. I like the fact that he's the Dark Lord of the Sith, but that's a different story altogether. But anyway, what they make is they make the exhaust cutouts, the electronic exhaust cutouts, which are really, really cool. You don't think about it necessarily on a gasser. That's true. But most everybody that's involved with the gassers is involved with an older hot rod of one way, shape, or form. Okay. And this gives you the option to run an open exhaust or closed exhaust and very easily flip of a switch. So, and they race. He runs A-gas. He's got a Corvette. I want to say it came from Queen Scott. I think so. He runs a Corvette and A-gas. Okay. So I think it's called Iron Eagle, I believe. Anyway,
I
it's
think it is
really cool Corvette. So, but they back up the Southeast Gassers, so we encourage everybody to look them up, along with others. But anyway, that's our plug for tonight.
Yeah, and I just want to remind everybody, please don't forget, we will be live streaming race number 11 and 12 of the Scorpion Racing Products ET Series at Gainesville Raceway this weekend. Saturday, I believe we should get started around 10 with time runs, but we're trying to kind of limit how much we live stream the time runs because we run on a short schedule on Facebook that only allows us like 8 hours of streaming time before we have to start it back over. And that will also be on YouTube. So please come enjoy the racing this weekend from Gainesville from the comforts of your living room, motorhome, or hey, if you're out there mowing the grass, click it on, get you some headphones, and you can listen to what is happening on the track as well. But I tell you, Robert, we have another great guest coming up next Thursday night. I'll let you go ahead and talk about that.
Wait a minute. I don't have my calendar on. Huh?
Beach Bend Raceway.
Oh, Mr. Brock. Okay, yes. Mr. Brock, he is the manager and operator of Beach Bend Raceway Park. Okay, and that right there is a great track if you've never been to it. It's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I got family in Bowling Green, and that's also where the Tri-Fi Nationals is hosted each and every year. You'll love it. It's been around since the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. It's one of the very first tracks that I ever saw that has covered grandstands, and that's how it is. It's also the only track that I've ever been to that has a water park attached to it and an amusement park and a campground. Okay, so there's a lot going on, but they do a lot of racing, especially sportsman racing. I mean, everything from big money bracket racing to stock, super stock racing, to combo racing, to no prep, to they have the hot rod reunion there every year, the Tri-Fi Nationals every year. They have the Sports Nationals every year. It can go on and on, but that's who we have next week. So we're really looking forward to that. They've been super, super busy. So,
yes. Well, this is one thing I haven't talked to Robert about.
Oh,
but
no.
one thing that I would like to do in a couple of years is like to maybe host a super stock shootout at Gainesville Raceway in the next few years. So, and try to tie that in with another event that will be going on that weekend. So that's something that I would like to do. And, I'm going to start reaching out to people around the, divisions that are close to Division II and see what weekend or what month of the year will be the best for that. Maybe it may be like a December race or early January race.
Already know.
Ends up.
Already know. It's just you got to get the okay from one person, but I already know. You want me to say it now or just wait?
We'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait. Because I would like to try to put something on like that for the sportsmen's guys. And of course, we're going to have to reach out to several sponsors to try to come on board and support that event as well, because we want to make it where it's worth the trip for those who may be traveling from other divisions to come join that action that weekend. So just keep that in the back of your minds, but that's something I would like to accomplish, hopefully within the next 2 years as we continue to grow our podcast. The good thing is, Robert, if we do something like that, we don't have to worry about paying someone to live stream it.
Yeah, that part is true. We'll have the live streaming down. Hey, I might even have my car finished by then, so be able to run in it.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can throw the junior stockers in there as well. Have junior stock and super stock competing.
Well, like I said, we know somebody that could possibly put it on, or at least assist us with that. I got some ideas, and I know you and I've talked about it. We'll talk more about it later. But we have to get the okay for sure from one person. Okay, and I ain't gonna say it, but we get the okay from that.
I think the person that you're talking about, I've already talked to him.
We'll clarify off air that it's the same person. We'll clarify. We ain't gonna start making promises right there. We just can't keep. But put it this way, we would like to do that, just to be able to help showcase these cars. It's like I hope that Leslie's able to attend. I think he said he's going to the Tri-Fi. I hope he can bring at least 1 or 2 other cars, or at least like 3 other cars with him, so that they can do like a match race, which I know that's what they would do. Because I'm going to be there filming. I'm going to be there hopefully competing, but and taking pictures and hopefully doing some interviews, and we'll see how it goes.
So you'll be wearing anywhere from 4 to 5 hats.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, everyone, thank you again for watching the podcast, and we'll see you next Thursday night right here, or we'll see you this weekend tuning in, watching the Scorpion ET series, bracket series, that is, live from Gainesville Raceway this weekend. Everyone, everybody, take care and see you later.
Have a good night. Have a good night, everybody.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.